Welcome to Midlife Unlimited Live for Five from the Caribbean. No, it's just the sunlight, but it feels like I'm sitting on a beach somewhere. I'm your host, Kate Porter, the Midlife Metamorphosis Coach, and I'm delighted to be joined today by my episode 52 guest, the wonderful Anne Leatherland, coach, voice expert, and founder of, let me get this right, Vocal Intuition Be Truly Heard, and the podcast of the same name. So you've got two podcasters together, peeps. It's going to be good, this. To give a taste of our full-length audio episode that's available now, wherever you listen to your podcasts, How to Be Heard as a Midlife Woman. So are you ready? Welcome, Anne. It's fabulous to have you here.
It's great to be here, Kate. Thanks for this opportunity. And as you know, I love chatting along with you, so it should be a good one.
Well, absolutely, because I love the fact we've met in real life. And when I first met you, I was struck by, well, obviously the passion. You love what you do.
I do.
But you're like me, you so aware of the fact that us midlife women, midway women, as the lovely Kath's saying as well, it's double fold. We can feel invisible, and we talk about this in our episode, the whole idea of even queuing up at a bar to try and get attention to buy a drink. You know, people walking past you, people bumping into, so you've got the whole invisibility side from that. But we can be scared to speak out, can't we? And also that old wobble that starts now. What's that all about?
Absolutely. It's hard for women anyway, let's face it. I think, especially in business environments, to speak out and feel that they're being fully heard. But when we get to our age, when I think anything plus 45, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, that's the age I classify in my midlife umbrella. It's basically, mid-40s onwards.
40s onwards,
Yeah.
we start to be that little bit more invisible. I mean, I was walking down the street just last week. I think it was in London because I was going to an event. And this man walked straight towards me. He was chatting to another fella, didn't even see me. I don't know whether this is a London thing, Kate, or whether it was just
Everyone's
him.
like on autopilot, aren't they?
But literally just kept walking straight at me. I thought, who's going to give in first? And he was clocking me. He was looking at me. I thought, you're expecting me to get out of the way for you, aren't you? Now, that could be a midlife thing, or it could be just a London thing. Sometimes
he thinks he's Johnny Big Pants, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No, it doesn't help us in this invisibility case. And sometimes we speak and we say things and people nod in a sort of way, and it's not on. We have lots to say. We have lots to give.
And I think as well, it's very true that if that happens once, our good old inner critic, inner voice kicks in and says to protect us, because that's all she's trying to do. She's not us.
Yeah.
But if it's happened once, she'll say, well, don't put your tuppence, don't put your hand up again, because do you remember last time you felt a right idiot, didn't you? Because so we don't, do we? We think, okay, we won't then. And miss out on opportunities. And we're not just talking about speaking engagements or business meetings, in social settings as well, isn't it? That dinner party where we think, oh no, we won't say anything because Joanna or Frederick or whatever might laugh at us. It's a real thing.
I'm just laughing because you've immediately made me think of a Harry Enfield sketch where he was doing the old 1940s, and it's like, women, know your place. But it kind of is when it comes to serious topics. But I do take your point. In social situations, we wonder whether we ought to speak up. Are we enough up with the times to say things? Will people criticize us? Will they look at us as if we're not?
Well, you can guarantee as well with me, I'll be chatting and I'll like, oh yeah, I've got something really good, and then I'll go to say it, and the old brain fog will kick in.
Oh yeah, brain fog.
I'll completely forget either what I was going to say completely, and then just stand there going, it was really interesting, honestly, or I'll get the name wrong, and then I mean, luckily, I don't know if the right word is confident, but in myself to laugh it off and go, oh, well, I'll let you know when I remember it. But it can be quite embarrassing, humiliating, or we can feel, oh no.
Very much so. And we have that situation, I think, quite a lot, and especially around perimenopause, going into menopause. And not that that's what midlife is defined by. It's obviously part of it. And there are very great changes that happen in the hormonal balance and in the body and in the voice itself. Our voice itself might get a little bit drier and more difficult to use than it used to
Mm,
be. Our muscle tone generally in our body changes. Our
yeah.
joints get a bit achy as the estrogen withdraws. And then on top of that, as you've just mentioned, we get the brain fog. And sometimes I can be speaking and I'm looking for a word and it's a quite ordinary word and it will just go. I
I
don't know if you've
actually
ever
do
heard
this.
that one.
I don't realize I'm
Yeah.
doing it, but it's like trying to grab it, and my other half will laugh, going, "You're doing it again." But I mean, oh, there's so many wonderful advice and golden nuggets and insights in your story in our full length episode. But one thing that I learned as well, vocal cords, no, 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 listeners, viewers, vocal folds. Is that correct?
That's correct, because they're not like bits of string in our throats. They're actually like little folds of
So
tissue
it's not
in
like
the
strumming a
womb.
guitar or something like that.
Well, there are parallels in terms of the thickness and the length and all of that, because with a thicker string on an instrument, you get a lower note, and with a thinner string, you get a higher note. But there's much more to it because these vocal folds can change length, thickness, texture, all sorts of things that help us to make the sounds to express ourselves in different ways. And there are ways you can control that, and you can be the person that plays that instrument. It literally is. You're playing your speaking instrument. It's not just for singers.
Yeah. Well, that's what I
Although I am
love
a
about
singer.
what you do. We talk about obviously in midlife with hormonal changes as well. Or maybe it's something that you've never liked your voice for whatever reason. You've just been too harsh on yourself, because we've all got fabulous voices, whatever tone. But there are ways that you can tweak and control, aren't there? And now's a great time to actually come and speak to you. And we'll give your details again in a bit at the end of our chat. And they are
Yeah.
on the show notes for the episode. Um, but we don't have, if we don't like our voice for whatever reason, we can, like so many other things, we can change it, can't we?
Yeah, there's very much a perception thing that we need to think about here, because we don't like our own voices when we hear them on recordings. And
Mm.
that's because we hear them differently in our own heads. In our
Yeah.
own heads, or in ourselves, what we get is the sound coming from the outside. We've spoken it, it comes in, but also lots of vibrations up through the body tissues. And so to
Mm.
ourselves, we sound wonderfully warm and gorgeous and all the rest of it. And then we hear a recording and you think, oh my goodness, is that me? But you
Well, so
can get
many of
used
my
to that.
guests haven't listened back to our episodes
Yeah.
because they're like, oh no, I don't like listening to my voice.
But
Whereas I
actually
don't mind it.
listening Sorry. Listening to your voice is one of the best things you can do if you're trying to work with your voice and
Mm.
explore what it can do. Recording yourself and getting used to that gives you some inkling of how it might sound on the outside, and also how you're progressing if you're trying to change things. So I often get my clients to do that. Make a recording, get used to listening to yourself, practice your talk, or just practice talking about everyday things as if you were chatting to a friend, and notice some of the differences that you can make in your voice. I mean, we all speak differently in different situations, don't we?
Mm.
So if we're in a big room, we might speak something like this if there's no microphone. On the other hand, if I'm being a little bit more confidential and a little bit more
And
empathetic
empathetic
around
as well.
me,
Yeah.
and I can change the colour of that tone, I can let a bit of air through it and just sound a little bit softer. Or I can sound a little bit more edgy, depending on what I want to do. And that's a great one for cutting through the noise in a networking. Let me just go back to normal. Shouldn't be allowed out on its own. It's a bit strident, isn't it? But if you're in a really noisy room, that one can help you to sound louder
Mhm.
without pushing your voice.
Yeah.
And I was in one last week and you could barely hear yourself think. And I really had to use that
Mm.
in order not to strain my voice.
Because that's another thing we delve into in our full length episode, the actual treating our voice with care in the same way that we treat other parts of our body, of our health.
Mm,
Because it is
mm.
important, isn't it, to look after it, especially if we're doing lots of Zoom meetings in person. Talking takes its toll, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I mean, your voice isn't just one thing, actually. It depends on a number of things. As we say in the episode, it's your body, your
Mm,
bigger body muscles, as well as what happens in your vocal folds, in your voice box, your larynx, and everywhere else. And then there's mental energy as well, and emotional energy going into it. So all of that together makes voice. It's body, self, and skill to make voice. If you've ever met somebody who has unfortunately lost the ability to speak because of a stroke or something like that, you realize just what an elegant coordination it is to speak at all.
yeah.
And we
No,
learn it when we're children, and then we take it for granted. So we go, oh, that's my voice. Oh, all of a sudden it's not working. Oh, I must have a bit of a bug. That's okay. I'll just push through.
no, absolutely. Because
Mm.
the any slight change to our voice, people do, you find they comment, they react to it. So as you say, in terms of having a stroke where it can be completely debilitating, this has a huge impact, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It's part of our identity. But when our voice is just working, we take it for granted.
Mm,
Now, you may go to the gym or go for walks or do a few stretches, whatever it is you do to keep your body healthy. And people do these things, but they don't think about their actual voice, which also depends on those body muscles, but two little muscles that are actually inside those vocal folds. There are two little muscles in there. And we need to, and then lots of other muscles around the voice box and
mm.
joined to it. I won't get too sciencey, but I'm just making the point. Why would you look after your whole body when you wouldn't actually exercise your voice?
No,
Especially when you speak a lot or you're in meetings or you're speaking a lot on the phone, anything.
yeah, no,
And,
absolutely.
you know,
Um, and that's a phrase that I've discovered I use a lot. Yes, no, absolutely. Where it comes
absolutely, I do it too. But just to say, the looking after the voice is the same as looking after your everything else in the physical system. If you're speaking a lot, you're a vocal athlete. You're a
Mm,
professional voice user. And learning how to look after that voice and how to use it skillfully can save you from feeling hoarse and tired. We only have so many voice hours in the day. If you were walking all day long, you'd have tired legs.
yeah.
If you're speaking all day long, you get a tired voice. And if you push through, you get a damaged voice.
Mm.
So I think there's a
I'm
lot
delighted
more.
in our episode you do share some exercises and some top tips. I mean, I say all your contact details are on the Midlife Unlimited podcast
Mm.
website and on our show notes. But can you talk through again how viewers can get in contact with you? And I think you remind us of the wonderful gift that you're offering to viewers and listeners as well.
Oh, thank you. Yes, you can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. I think the link will be in the show notes if you listen to the
Yes.
podcast. And also through AnneLeatherland.co.uk. If you do happen to do vocalintuition.co.uk, it will take you to the same place. So it's not really a problem. So you can get in touch with me through there. And also through my podcast, if you fancy having a listen to that, it's called Be Truly Heard. And we're in, I don't know, the 65th episode or something at the moment. And it's
Oh,
a
you're ahead of
combination
me.
of solo and guest episodes. And they're quite short. They're only about 20 minutes long. So if you're one of those people who likes listening to something a bit more on the run, then that's perfect for you. And my special gift to everybody is something called the Ultimate Voice Planner, especially for business women, actually, but it would benefit anybody, to be honest. And if you sign up to it, it will come to you in 3 parts to give you a chance to work through each section. And then at the end, if you feel you'd like to discuss any of it with me, there are options there as well. But it really takes you through aspects of how you perceive your own voice, how
Mm.
to look after your voice, the thing we've been chatting about here. And then finally, how to plan for your voice use when you're doing different things. For instance, on a day that has a lot of meetings as opposed to a day that doesn't, and so on.
No. So important, so important. I've learned so much. So I say go and check out our full episode. It's absolutely brilliant. I've loved recording it with Anne, obviously.
It was
And
great,
it's
yeah.
available now wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, I did mention the Midlife Unlimited podcast website. If you head over there, there's details of how you can work with me if you fancy it. Let's get you
Hurrah!
metamorphosizing. And also head over to the school platform where you can join my community, Pop Your Podcast Cherry, for free. I've made it free because we hit the 50th episode and I'm feeling generous. So that's for all you podcast guest wannabes. That if you're feeling that expertise bursting, but you just don't know how to go about becoming a guest, or if you're procrastinating over launching that podcast, come and join it. So thank you for joining me, Anne. It's been an absolute pleasure. Loved
And
catching up with you now. Love our episode. Available wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you for watching. Here's to being fabulous, flourishing together, and living midlife unlimited. Thanks, Anne. Bye.
thank you.